Hi guys, so today's question is, how can I prevent muscle cramps while running? I'd like to share some of my own personal experiences and maybe why this kept happening to me and how I overcame it. Now, when I first started running, I was running on the roads. I didn't really encounter many hills, so I was at a constant pace, pretty much flat out on all of my runs. So as soon as I moved over to the trails, I was effectively doing a lot more hill work, ascents, descents, running on technical terrain, running longer distances on the trails, and experiencing mountain weather conditions, going from hot to cold and back again. All these factors require much more from your muscles. So when I first started turning up to trail races, whether it be from 10 kilometers to a 50-kilometer race, I would always start off far too quickly. Coming from that road running background, I would give it 100% from the start. But the problem with that is, as soon as you hit a hill or a descent, then your muscles are getting used in much more different ways than they would be to that repetitive motion that you experience on the roads. So you're burning through all your muscle stores much more quickly than you would do normally. So that's all great. So I would do really well in the first half of the race, but then I would start getting these leg cramps. And from then on, I didn't know what to do, so I would end up hobbling my way back to the finish line. And that's really demoralizing and not good for your ego, especially if you've got a list of races planned out for your season. So I would like to share 4 tips for how I overcame this problem, and hopefully how you can too. So tip number 1 is to do dynamic stretching before your race or your run. Dynamically stretching before a run or a race can dramatically reduce the chances of you straining your muscles, which I've noticed brings on muscle cramping in the legs. So a few dynamic stretches that you can look up are the butt kicks. They are exactly how they sound. Leg swings, alternating toe touches, alternating walking lunges, and heel raises. A lot of those stretches are really good for the quads and the hamstrings, and the heel stretches at the end there, obviously very good for the heels. We plan to do more videos on pre-race stretching and post-race stretching, so I won't go into depth on those at the moment for this video. Tip number 2 is pace yourself properly. So it's really important to pace yourself during a run or race. I have a tendency to sweat a lot when I run at a high intensity level. I guess that's anything from 70% to maximal. Now, if you can start your run or race much slower than you normally would, or much slower than you feel is comfortable, then you give your heart rate a chance to stabilise at a lower rate. I always find if you start too quickly and your heart rate raises far above what it should be, then it's very hard to bring that heart level back down. So start slowly. That's going to reduce any sweating that you may be doing. So if you're not sweating as much, you're not losing as many salts or hydration. So that means you're less likely to get cramping. By all means, once your heart rate is stabilised at a much lower rate than it would normally, then you can go hard and fast. Tip number 3 is make sure you keep drinking electrolytes during a run or race. Electrolytes are super important when you're on a long run. They're designed to help stop you cramping and give you energy. So you'll probably notice that a lot of well-organised races, they put on electrolytes for you at the aid stations. They'll have electrolytes, maybe Coke and water. I personally would always go for the electrolyte first. They usually place them at the foot of a hill, which means they're obviously there for a reason. So take the electrolytes, drink the water if you need it. If you are on a long run and you're not sure whether the race organiser will put on the electrolytes for you, definitely take 2 bottles, 1 bottle with your electrolyte mix and another bottle with just water. Now I've got a couple of examples of electrolyte drink mixes here. First one is you've got the Tailwind, and the second one is Morton. We can recommend both of those, we've tried and tested them. The good thing about these 2 mixes is they are your complete package. They're carbohydrates, electrolytes and hydration all in one. Tip number 4 is don't forget your emergency salt tablets. Oh my god, when I first discovered salt tablets, I was absolutely amazed at how they fixed my cramping. Ever since my first experience, I've learned to notice when cramping is starting to occur, and then I'll take a tablet and hey presto, no cramping. I can recommend salt stick tabs. These are the ones I use and I can recommend them 100%, they're excellent. All they are, in case you're wondering, it's just a little capsule with salt and electrolytes. There's no carbohydrates in there at all, which is another good reason for taking 2 bottles, 1 bottle of water, so that you can have your tablet with your bottle of water when you need it. So for me it was a combination of those 4 practices that helped me stop getting cramps during races and runs. I recommend you give them a try. Try doing them all, try doing 2, maybe 3, see how the combinations work for you. And I'd love to know how you get on, so leave me a comment down in the box below. And even if you've got some extra tips, actually, I'd love to know those too. If you found this video useful to you and you'd like to watch more, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got lots of advice videos coming your way and also a lot of gear reviews. I'll also put some links down there relating to the products that I've mentioned today. I only recommend products that I've used personally and had a great experience with.